Welcome back to Shifted Reality. My name is Minovate, and this is Season 2, Episode 24. Well, looking over our terrain so far, we still got a little bit of work to do on the main level down here. We need to kind of develop this side of the build where we used to be growing all of our trees and terraform this and decide what we're going to be doing with the area. Now, something that I've been running into lately is I keep wanting to add in more of these banners. Oh, it's very dark over here. That's not good. I keep looking to add in and utilize more of these banners, but I don't have all the white wool I need to keep making new banners. So I'm going to try and get in a shepherd today to try and make it so that we can just start trading for the banners instead. Let's make a day and see where we go from there. Alright, as I figure out what to do with this section here, I decided the simplest thing to do would just to be extend out our road from our central storage unit here, if it ever actually becomes a storage unit, and kind of came up here. I don't think I can do the standard tower like I did over there. Oops. No, I don't think I can do the tower I've been doing with some of the other spots like I did over there, just because we're on such a higher elevation here. And if you look, it kind of has this natural terrain to it. I need to embrace the terrain for whatever it is I'm going to do up along the edge here. So that might be a project for a future week. Right now, let's focus on this area here. So maybe right about how about right about here? Kind of branch off and take us down into this area for further development. And of course we also have to get some development over on that side as well. So you can see here we put in a bit of a perimeter for where we're going to be building the structure, and it's right at the end, right up at the edge of our boardwalk. So we're going to kind of get an idea of what maybe will go down here based on how we deal with this gap right here. Now, just to level it out for now, we put out some stone just to make it all flat. This is hollow underneath because we're not really sure how the terraform is going to work out. So we're just going to leave that as is for now. And you can see some of my redstone is peeking out. And this is something that, if you follow my shorts, I've been working on for a little bit, trying to figure out how to get this to work right. And what the idea is we're going to have a little pressure plate here, and the shepherd's loom is going to be right here at the end. So he comes up to his workstation to check it on it, and that's going to trigger this to go off every single time he's working or not working. Now, the reason that we are getting one when we're stepping on and one when we're stepping off is because really what the comparator is detecting is the power that is coming through the copper bulb. And I believe I could fix that just by replacing the copper bulb here to here and then putting a comparator in there. And then it would only detect if there's a signal or not a signal. And that would give us a bit of a more on and off. But for right now, I kind of like the multi-factor aspect of it. And of course, Ash saw us struggling trying to get this to work right, and he came in and saved the day by helping solve the problem, which I hadn't really gotten into before, but this is basically what our problem was. We were trying to trigger both the upper piston and the lower piston on the block swap at approximately the same time, or we weren't really thinking about which one was firing first and which one was firing second. And you can kind of see it because right now I have it set on alternating pattern, where when the block is up, it's powering the top piston forward, and the lower piston, or the redstone repeater, is unpowered. And vice versa, with the lower piston being powered, the upper piston is not. Now the reason why this works stably and my designs were not is because when this fires, it will first deactivate this piston before it activates this piston, allowing this one to always go down first before this one extends out. And vice versa, when it comes back down, this one will be depowered, so it'll be pulling this one back by the time it powers this one and pushing this one up. And that way we get that nice stable pattern of the wool being swept away. And we will of course be working on this as the best we can to try and make sure that we are accomplishing a weaving pattern, which is part of the reason why I currently have it on every other, because I think that just makes it feel more like it's being weaved at the moment. I think I might do something with banners along here, but we'll see how that goes. And now putting in this, because this is probably the big piece, the center of the design, so whatever this ends up taking up is going to kind of reflect how much space we have left for everything else. I kind of want to put in a wool farm of some form here, just because, you know, shepherds take wool for trades. It'd be nice to just always have a little bit of wool available if you need emeralds to trade with them. And otherwise, it needs to have his house, which I'm probably going to put along this side here. So what I'm envisioning is you come up here, you can enter and exit his house, you come out, and here we have a nice, lovely little courtyard where he comes over and he works on his weaving and refreshes his trade as workstation. Well, at the very least, this bridge will be used at least once to transport mobs from one side of the river to the other. Come on, sheepy. New home awaits. So about all I can conveniently fit in is just a small 3 sheep farm, and I don't know, unless if there's a way to get them actually side by side. I tried to separate them out with something similar, thinner, such as a trapdoors, but then they just seem to kind of phase through them, so that didn't really work. But overall, I think the only difference I'm going to do here is just to keep this a bit more symmetrical, because it's a bit weird right now, is we're going to go ahead and bring these all to just feed into one center chest instead of having 3 chests, one for each, because this farm is not going to be super efficient. It's not going to produce a mass amounts. It's just going to be a small amount of wool there to allow us to collect it and pay off the shepherd for emeralds for anything we want to trade back for the shepherd. So the next step is to start laying out our building design, and I'm kind of experimenting a little bit with this. I end up getting a little thick here. I usually try to avoid that kind of thing, so we might adjust this side a little bit more. But overall, the thing that gets me is, and yeah, I'm planning on stripping this piece. I want the bright red. Mangrove is so annoying because when you're trying to harvest it or grow it to collect more, yeah, honestly, you always end up with more roots than you end up with the actual logs. And what good are the roots, honestly? I used them sparingly for decoration, but that's about it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Well, since there's no such thing as a triple chest, and I couldn't get them to flow into a singular double chest without making it look weird, I decided just to go with 3 individual chests, just all nice and compact next to each other. And if you want to know how I put individual chests together without them combining into a double chest, leave a comment down below and I can let you in on the secret. Yeah, no, none of these 3 chests are trap chests, so that's not it. Why do I punish myself like this? I'm supposed to be a quick run into the nether. I end up dying, and I come back to get my stuff and grab the soul sand and run. You remember my last episode? We were really low on spare soul sand, so I didn't have enough to add in the... Well, I didn't have what I needed in order to add in a fountain that I think I'm going to want. And I'll show you how we got here just as soon as I'm safely out of the nether and away from all the many things that are always so successful in murderizing me every time I come in here. And this is getting back to safety. I can finally stop, take a breath, recharge, eat some food, and get out of here through my portal. So why did I risk my life going into the nether just to pick up some soul sand? Well, I started laying out the foundation for the shepherd's house, and I was following along the naturally vanilla generated terrain. I didn't want to go too much. I was just following that and using the areas that we flattened out as the basis for how we are designing this. You know, trying to work with some new shapes and some unexpected twists and turns just to see what I can do with it. However, that got me with this little indent here that just didn't really make much sense. What am I going to do with this little space, especially here? It's only 1 wide. What am I supposed to do with that? Well, then I had an idea. What if I put in a little fountain? You know, maybe a little garden over here, a couple flowers. So that's when I got the idea. If I put in a fountain here, if I put in soul sand down here, we'll get a little bubble effect, like water splashing about in there. And this little one space, I had an idea on how we can get a little water feature that will go in there. So we'll see how that all turns out. And I know I'm doing this a little bit backwards because normally I wouldn't put down this kind of decorations until after everything else is finished. But at the moment at least it just kind of feels right. Nice little flower garden. Gonna have a little water feature there. This will be good. But let's get back to building out the foundation of the actual building. Now, the idea of having this giant loom in the courtyard of the shepherd's house started off from a post I saw on the internet that was talking about utilizing dispensers to dispense out banners just one at a time, which would then pop off the first banner, drop it in a hopper, and cycle it around in order to make it look like the weave of the banner was being woven right in front of you. Now, as near as I can tell, that feature does not exist in either Bedrock or Java, and maybe they're talking about using a mod of some sort, or maybe they're just saying they wish they had that capability so they could do that. I'm honestly not really sure. But I kind of want to do a similar thing of an animated loom. And so here you have your gold and white threads. You can kind of see the bits of the machine poking on the back, the weave line along the breaking point there. And then when you step on here, you're getting that swapping out. Like the whole machine is just being run as it goes. If I could get any kind of movement in the banners, I would, but that just doesn't seem to be an option at the moment. But overall, I'm hoping that this is going to be an impressive animation, and it's going to look great because every single time the shepherd gets up in the morning and comes over here to his workstation, he's going to be stepping on this, and if you're around to see it, you're going to see that animation. And then when he leaves to go back to doing other things, you'll see it flip back, and I think that's kind of brilliant. Hopefully you agree. Well, I still gotta figure out how I'm supporting it on this underside, but I need to also put a roof on. But otherwise, it's mostly finished. But for the interior decoration, I need something, so I'm gonna go fetch that before I do the big reveal. And I'm riding the horse just so I can get there faster. I mean, I suppose I could do the boat as well. I don't think the ice highway extends all the way just yet. And what I'm looking to do is visit everyone's base, see if anybody has any banners that they've been putting up to designate their builds. And if they do, we're going to come along and we are going to borrow those, make copies of them, such as this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the different bases and we're going to borrow their banners and make copies of them so that we can get a feel for all the banners in the realm and utilize them to decorate our shepherd's house. Okay, I need to get away from my base more often because I did not even know we had a Japanese theme build going on. These are actually really well done. Count me as impressed. Still gonna steal the banner though. And here we can see that we have the walls up on the main section of the house. And we just went with a diorite wall with a upside down polished diorite stair in order to give it a little bit of a curve and a finished look to it. And you hear that? It sounds like our master weaver is hard at work. We added in a little bit of a redstone clock, so anytime he is standing at his workstation, the animation of the weaving machine will be active and it'll be working away as he works on perfecting his masterful designs. Currently working with gold and white thread. And with his designs, that's why we went to all the different bases on the server to collect these banners to give the impression that these are the source. He is the master weaver that has created all the banners for the world. Of course, we still need to put a roof on here, and definitely need to have access in case we ever need to come up and replace the shears that are giving us our wool farm here. And I'm not too sure about what to do with the roof, though.
Hello, Father.
You are riding a horse on my roof.
Yeah.
Well, no, I suppose it's not too surprising. If it's a good jumper, it can easily just jump up 3 high, or even 2 high to get on over where the loom is, so.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a good horse. I got up from the stone brick area. It's a good jumper, but not a good runner. So I'm hoping to breed Oreo with Powder. Powder's my way horse that's fast but doesn't have a good jump. Like, it couldn't jump over a block in a slab, so yeah. So I'm gonna need wheat to golden carrots to breed the two. Oh my god. I'm not used to breeding horses.
Yep.
But this is Oreo.
Did you have any ideas on what I should do with the roof?
Yes, I was thinking we could do like something with crimson as a rim with like mangrove in the middle. And then like, my horsey's okay, don't worry. Hold on.
Well, that conversation got a little bit off the rails, so we didn't fully finish it on camera. But I kind of see what her vision is, and I don't really want to go into the nether to get more death. So I want to come over here to Timber in Time and see if they happen to have what we changed all the signs to E. Okay, how much does he charge here? Because he actually does have the wood I want. This is my first time picking up Crimson Wood this season. Oh, that's slightly embarrassing. Alright, well, with no prices listed, I guess 1 diamond a stack seems kind of fair. He does have this sign here. I mean, granted, these are empty chests. That did say 1 diamond per slot. So maybe? I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you think Crimson Wood is worth more than 1 diamond. Oh, the hills are alive with danger. Actually, you know what? You guys are both carrying some stuff. Follow me. We haven't played with the HOA in a while, so why not? Yeah, man, buddy. Oops. Oopsies. I'll be right back. Okay, unfortunately, I think I have to do one of my 2 friends in because I think he stole my trident. Yep, that was my trident, alright. Oh well, at least there's 1 guy inside. Somewhere, I think. Unless he left. Well, I think it has come together quite nicely and is now fitting in. Let's take a closer look at our shepherd's house. As you can see, we have a crimson roof, which was the suggestion of my daughter, and we kind of had to get a little creative because of the odd shape we had. But I think overall we managed to accomplish it. This looks a little odd when you're up here, but this isn't really meant for people to be up there. But if you come down in here, it all kind of fits in pretty well. It looks like a nice little crawl space attic-like situation. And maybe we'll ever need to have some storage. We might use it up here, but that's fine. And the low routed type roof, that was a suggestion from my son. I think it looks good. He's kind of right. The overall profile of the building is fairly low to the ground. We really don't need the excess height or size or grandiosity that really large pointed rows can create. We can just keep it nice, low, and subtle. He's dreaming about being with a frog. Alright. You do you, man. And there is the animated loom, nice and asleep at night without our shepherd to be awake and working on it. Well, at the end of the day, this has been another episode of Shifted Reality. What do you think of my new animated loom design? Leave a comment down below, and as always, like and subscribe if you watched this far. We are still hoping to reach 300 subscribers before the end of our second year. Yeah, I know, it's a slow grow, but a slow burn. We don't mind. We are not in any rush to get anywhere. Until next time, I do hope to see you again. Bye, everyone.